Hello, I'm here today rebooting some interviews with Dr. Bickmore's YA Wednesday, and my guest today is Gia Gordon. How you doing, Gia?
I'm doing so good. Thank you for asking. How are
We've
you?
had some back and forth. Well, great, but I love the back and forth where you've been traveling, I've been traveling, we've had computer issues, but
Yeah.
now we're together and able
Yes,
to
here we
have a
are.
conversation.
Yep. We made it
So
work.
tell us about this wonderful news you've got. You've got some stuff going on that people in the YA book world ought to know about.
Yeah, absolutely. I have a YA book coming out in May of 2024 and a cover that's just about ready to be released to the world. So everyone can see this amazing, like really stunning book cover. I am so excited about it.
I am too. I've got to tell everybody I've had a peek already, but we're not going to show it to you yet, and we're not going to tell you the title. We're going to talk just a couple of minutes about who Gia is as an author, and then we'll tell a title and we'll show a cover, and we're going to have some fun. It's been a while since I've done an interview, and I'm very excited to start again here. So, Gia, tell us a little bit about um, who you are as a writer. How do you come to it as a writer of YA literature?
I come to writing YA literature from a very organic place. I was a high school teacher for almost 30 years, and I had a unique relationship with many of my students where, we spent a lot of time between classes or at lunch or after school, and we would just talk about real life. It got me to thinking, as somebody who's always been a writer, like I really feel like it would be so helpful for stories like that to be reflected for other students who may be going through things, because oftentimes young people think they're the only ones that are going through a thing. And we know that's not true.
Yeah, well, I remember as a longtime high school teacher myself, sometimes you talk with people and they say, do kids really do that? And I say,
Yeah.
yeah, kids really do that, and they really do this, and they worry about that. And
Mhm.
and I think sometimes the sad part is many kids feel they're alone. And
Yes.
and we as when high school teachers, if you're attuned, you realize they're probably not alone, but they feel alone. And figuring
Right.
out a way to connect them with someone else is part of the challenge we do day to day. So I
Absolutely.
love that entrance you have into it. Well, so we're going to do a longer interview just before the book comes out, but there's a couple of questions that I would just love to ask you now.
Sure.
And in your past fiction and the fiction going forward, what do you see as reoccurring themes? Where do you kind of land?
It's so funny because I just really recently had the epiphany that there is one recurring theme in all of my work, all of it. And I didn't put it together until fairly recently. And that is the theme of found family. And I think it's because of my own, family of origin story and the people that I've cultivated into my life that are very important to me. But I also feel like I write a lot about friendship groups as well. And I think because when we're younger, our friendship groups are our found family in so many ways. And a lot of young people have complicated, family stories, and the people that young people bring around them become like a found family to them. So all of a sudden I'm realizing, wow, that really shows up again and again and again in my work.
That is a teaser for more interview questions about your found family and where you land in that. That's really um, a really good interlude into something else. Why don't you tell us the title of your new book?
The title of my new book is The Redemption of Dia Keene.
The Redemption of Dia Keene.
Mhm.
Well, what excites you about Dia Keene's fictional world?
Oh my gosh. I first of all love these characters. I love these characters so much. They are so alive to me, and they're so weird and quirky and beautiful and complicated and flawed, but if I were 16 years old and these were not fictional people, I would totally want to hang out with these people. They're awesome to me, and just there are complicated mother-daughter relationships, it's friendship dynamics, it's the dynamics of living in a kind of a difficult place, kind of locally and globally. And so that's been, I take that opportunity as something kind of sacred. And that's really been an honor as well about writing this book.
We're going to find in this book found families,
Yes.
family dynamics, and
Mhm.
friend dynamics that I think are going to be over the top interesting for readers to find. And as you say, friendship is integral into the life of many of us. And are you going to give us a hint about how many friends she finds? Is it problematic? Does she come and go?
I will tell you this. So I love writing friend groups, partly for the reasons that we talked about before. I often write friend groups in triads because I find those odd numbers to lend themselves to like greater conflict and, some interpersonal dynamics. And so Daya, the main character of the story, does have two really good friends, Stella and B-Rad. And the three of them together, honestly, I think they could conquer the world.
Well, I, for one, am really anxious to hear about Daya and her friends Stella and B-Rad. I love that name. It's going to be fun to find out what their adventures are like and where they're going to go. Okay, on a 1, 2, 3 count, we're going to pause and reveal the cover. You ready? Let's see if we can
I'm
count
ready.
together.
Okay.
1,
2,
2, 3. Wow, I love doing that because when I first received this illustration from you, I saw those oranges and that blue, and I thought, boy, that really pops. I'm anxious to find out about this character. Now, let's kind of end with a brief little conversation about how much say did you have on the cover?
Oh, that's such a good question because normally the author has very little say in a book cover. But I'm so grateful for this. I was included at every step of the way on this book cover, like literally from the original, like design concept to the color palette to what like side items, small bits and pieces to include as part of like the background narrative of the story. And I am so grateful. They invited me to send images and like inspirational images and just anything that I could think of that could be incorporated into the design concept. And then from there, the artist, beautiful Beatriz Naranjados, her artwork is just exceptional. And yeah, I got to be a part of that, which I'm so grateful for.
I've heard that is not always the case in
No.
the world out there. If people are
No.
interested, some authors don't have any say in their cover until
Right.
it shows up, and
Right.
you're fortunate in that aspect.
Yeah.
Well, that's really great. Now, the cover is going to give the reader an image of Daya from the get-go. Are
Yeah.
you really happy with that image of Daya?
I am so happy with that image. That is exactly how I imagined her to look. And there are little clues like kind of hidden in the artwork everywhere on the cover. So if you just really look at the artwork and kind of, internalize it and absorb it, there are things that tell you about the story right there on the cover.
But the book comes out in late May.
Yes.
And somewhere before late May of 2023, we'll have another longer conversation and post the interview and really whet people's appetites on getting this book in their hands and getting it in classrooms. And hopefully we can see you on the circuit as we're
I would
traveling
love that.
around. That would be great to do.
That would be amazing.
Well, it's going to be great to talk to people about this book in the future as we have an interview. And it's been great talking with you. And I hope to see you again on the circuit.
It has, Steve. Thank you so much. I appreciate the opportunity.